Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Tree Talk by Namu. Today I will interview the founder of Namu, Jaden. Hi, I'm Natalia and I'm your host for today's episode. Before we dive into the episode, we wish to disclaim that the rest of our episodes will discuss anything related to the environment, particularly climate change. This episode is simply a fun interview of our founder we wish to do before we dove into the heavy stuff. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, Jaden.
Hi.
So can you tell us your name, age, and school?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jaden. I'm 14 years old and I'll be entering the Orange County School of the Arts.
Nice. And just tell us some stuff about yourself so we can get to know you a little.
Yeah. So my hobbies are playing the viola and being a developer. So I play the viola as an instrument. That's what I got into OSHA for, which is my school for high school. I'm also a developer. I compete and I also, make software and I also make games. I'm also an only child, so I really want an older sibling, but I don't know, maybe I should feel lucky that I'm an only child. And I moved to Irvine, California from Virginia Beach 3 years ago.
Nice. So what inspired you to found Namu?
So a lot of things inspired me to establish this organization, but primarily it came from the thought that small organizations without a lot of funding cannot do a lot, right? In Virginia, there are a lot of small organizations, organizations that don't get enough funding. But what I found was that in California, there were a bunch of large organizations that got a lot of funding. So what I thought was, maybe we should increase the number of smaller organizations that get a lot of funding, right? And that would bring a lot of, spotlight onto smaller cities, and therefore our impact on the environment would decrease.
Nice. About how long did it take you to figure out all the planning and logistics for Namu?
Yeah, so I applied to become a nonprofit organization in early April, and we were approved in early May. So it took about a month of very sophisticated planning, but yeah, we got there eventually. And we were very quick. So we were very lucky to be able to get this through very quickly.
Yeah, a month is super short for a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Wow. So were you alone in the planning?
So originally, yes, I was the only member of NAMU originally, but I had a lot of friends and family supporting me.
Did your parents support you in the beginning? Did they like your idea?
Well, originally the idea for Namu was very small. It was supposed to be a grocery shopping app where after you shop for your groceries, you'd scan your receipt and it'd calculate your total carbon emissions. My parents originally didn't like it very much because they thought that it was too limiting for an organization because it couldn't expand. So now we're an organization on informatics and we spread information about organizations and other environmental projects.
Does Namu have any sponsors or partnerships?
Yeah, so there's an expanding list of sponsors, but we originally first had Boxed Water, which contacted us very, very early on. And thank you to the team at Boxed Water for sponsoring a very small but, long-term organization. Dysperse, it was created by one of my friends, Manu. He is also a volunteer in our organization, and it's a productivity app that works on Windows, Mac, and iOS. You can check it out at disperse.com. Natalia also got in contact with an Instagram account that spreads green and conscious decisions. Their movement, they are called Green and Conscious. So you can check them out on Instagram at green.andconscious. And one last sponsor, this one was our very first initial sponsor. They help us with financial stuff and they are our fiscal sponsor. So we couldn't have done this without them. And they are Hack Club Bank.
Nice, yeah. How can students across America join Namu?
So while NAMU is still considered a school community organization because we were based off of a school, we are still interested in new volunteers. So please check out our website, namu.site, under the volunteers tab to apply.
What do volunteers do in the organization?
So we have a bunch of teams in our organization. We have the research and communications team, which does research and also writes emails. There's also the social media and advertising team, which Natalia is the head of. They do Instagram, Threads, and Facebook, and they also host this podcast on Spotify and YouTube. We also have all our development teams. They aren't very active right now, but we are trying to grow them as time goes on.
And what happens to volunteers when they graduate?
So after graduation, our organization at this point, it may be small, but in 4 years, I'm hoping that the organization will grow to a point where there's still younger generations of students that are still actively participating in the organization. So I don't see a big difference happening between when we graduate and without us graduating.
All right. Where is NAMU based in, and where do the volunteers live, like generally?
So NAMA is based in Irvine, California. That's where everything started. And a lot of the volunteers live all across Orange County, California. And also we do have a Virginia branch that we're trying to grow.
And there are also like some like random spots in the US where we have volunteers that aren't quite branches yet. So what are some future projects and plans for NAMU, and how will they make a difference?
So future projects we have that we're working on right now, we have one specifically that I want to mention, which is the magazine. So we're planning to release a lengthy magazine by the end of this year, around December. And we're going to release more information on our Instagram. So please follow us there to receive more information.
Thanks for the shout out. And how will that make a difference?
So the magazine that we're working on, it's trying to bring a spotlight towards smaller organizations that have meaningful impacts. We're looking towards organizations that do things that most people aren't aware of so that we can bring awareness to that issue. And we're hoping that these spotlights that we put on them, it will help them go into mainstream media and grow it into the future.
Nice. Okay. How do you see NAMU in 5 years from now?
So in 5 years, I'm hoping that we have a lot more school involved clubs. And I'm hoping that it will help schools become greener by reducing pollution and littering. And we can have students create permanent, long-lasting, long-term projects there so that students in those schools understand what a clean school looks like and how they can go towards that goal.
Nice. And it's also like, I kind of like that idea because then students can like help their community and like local things. So we're pretty much wrapped up. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, so I just want to say a final thank you towards our fiscal sponsor, which is Hack Club. And I just want to say thank you to the team there because we could never have done this without them. So please check them out at hackclub.com.
Truly, yeah. Thank you for letting me interview you. And to our listeners at home, thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of Tree Talk by NAMU. Before we part, make sure to follow our Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube to see our exciting box water giveaway coming soon. We will see you in the next episode where we will choose an environmental topic to discuss. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.